Think of where the Warriors were 20 years ago.
Thank you.
We would be 20 years ago. We would be praying, "Let us blow a 3-1 lead in the finals." I don't care.
Thank you so much, Julie. We are so entitled.
At the end of the day, we're not the Knicks, so.
Whoa! Shout out to New York!
That was like Charles Smith getting blocked a couple times right there.
All right, folks. Welcome back to the LGW vidcast. Very special pod today. Of course, I'm Daniel Hardy, and I've got the good doctor with me, Thomas Bevilacqua. Dr. Tom, how are you doing today, man?
I'm all right, yeah. Feeling that nice nostalgia for some 90s basketball after seeing Michael Jordan give the Jazz the business like Steph gave the Rockets the business. It was, inspiring.
Yeah, it's amazing how the greats always just beat up on the same team over and over and over again. And speaking of the greats, we have someone that Warriors fans and sports fans in general may know very well, the Honorable Julie Phayer. Julie, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Just hanging in there, just hanging out, wondering when basketball's coming back, because the faster basketball comes back, the faster we can watch the Warriors hopefully get some wins.
Sure. I don't remember the last time I watched a Warriors game, honestly.
Well, it's got to be tough. Considering the fact that you watched them win so many games after being trashed for so long, and then watching them win 0 games, that's kind of a crash line in there. But okay, let's just start from the beginning. Julie, okay. How did you become a Warriors fan?
I grew up in the Bay Area.
What part of the Bay?
In a little East Bay, Moraga, where St. Mary's College is.
Yeah, okay.
It's super small. It's past Orinda on the way to Walnut Creek. So I grew up there. My dad was a huge basketball fan, and he played basketball at USF.
Oh, wow.
And so when I was, as soon as I could walk, he was teaching me how to shoot and dribble and everything. So basketball's always been a huge part of my life. For Warriors, I had my 10th birthday party at a game, and then they chose me to be the honorary player of a game a few weeks later because I was the only girl in the Warriors Kids Club.
Hey!
So they introduced me with the starting lineup. I got a tour of the locker room and all this signed stuff. I got to bring a friend along, and we got to warm up on the court right before the players, made their entrance. And so we're just playing one-on-one while NBC Bay Area is doing, their pregame shots, and then the players come out, and I remember my friend and I just look at each other and just drop the balls and start to run. and then some of the players no, they were getting us to shoot with them and stuff. And probably the funniest thing I remember is when they introduced me with the starting lineup, and I ran out to high five everyone. They're so far apart and my arms were so short, I was running down the middle, but I wasn't high-fiving anyone.
Wait, so who was on the team at this time?
Jameson was there, Adana Foyle.
The legend.
And when I was working with the Thunder was there.
Oh, wow.
Of course. Yeah. But when I was working with the Warriors, Adana Foyle would always sit up kind of near me in media seats. And so we just talked from time to time, and then one game I told him this story and showed him pictures of the game because there's pictures of me standing right next to him. It was just funny.
Full circle. So you were there as a real fan during the It's a Great Time Out era.
Oh, yeah. I have so many It's a Great Time Out t-shirts that just wear to bed and stuff.
I can't confirm it was not a good time out.
It was fun though, $10 tickets, you get hot dog, Club 200.
Yeah.
I got to take 10 to 12 friends for a birthday party. That's how affordable Warriors games used to be.
Oh yeah, with the family 4-pack back in the day. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, it was a birthday pack. Have you guys been to Chase Center?
Several times, for sure.
Yeah.
How is it?
It's beautiful. It's definitely beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously the vibe isn't quite there yet. Obviously winning helps the vibe. But as far as the stadium itself, it's beautiful. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to get to from the East Bay, Yeah. I'm a ferry guy myself, as Dr. Tom knows, we went to the ferry together. So it's okay, but yeah, it's a little less accessible for me than the old Oracle was, which you see I'm surrounded by right now, bringing it back.
Those gold shirts. I have so many of those gold shirts still.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, when I moved down to LA, instead of buying packing paper to wrap dishes and stuff in, I just used Warrior shirts, playoff shirts. And I had so many left over. I had a whole box full that I gave it to one of the movers because he saw my Warrior stuff and was like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan." And he had kids, so I'm just like, "Here, just take this box."
Now,
I don't know what's in it.
Have any We Believe shirts left over, would you?
No, I only have one, and I'm keeping that.
Dang it.
That's a treasured artifact. So we talked about some of the less glorious times, but also you were there and like very directly there for some of the best of times, working as the social media, the running the accounts for the Warriors. And you were there in the locker room for the championship, for that first championship, for the celebrations. Talk about what it was like. So you can talk about it both as a fan and somebody who appreciates the team and basketball and the sport, but also as it getting to see and seeing all the players and the coaching staff and whomever, it's getting to see them celebrate it too.
For the 2015?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, first of running down from my media seats all the way down to drop my bag and laptop off in the media room to kind of get ready to run on the court just in case was the most stressed I've ever been. I was kind of power walking through the Cavs arena and I was trying so hard not to throw because I was so nervous and worried I would jinx it. But trying to elbow my way to the front behind the ropes so I could run on the court with the team as soon as the clock hit 0. I don't know how I was able to do that, but I was. So as soon as buzzer rang, we won. I think Steph or Andre throws the ball in the air and everyone runs on the court. And so I just kind of turned my phone on to record video and just kind of held it up and just let's just hope I get something good. But luckily I got them all reacting and everyone jumping on each other. And then you just hear Andre go, "We're going to Augusta! We're going to Augusta!"
The Masters, right?
Because Kurt promised them if him and Steph, if they won, he would get him into Augusta. You just want a title, and his first thought is it was honestly just the most surreal thing ever. Just taking countless. I think I have almost all the same photos in my camera roll still, but just kind of taking pictures of everything and just favoriting what I could. Oh, this turned out good. And the trophy ceremony. And when they got done with that, I snuck behind Steph as he's holding up the trophy, walking off the court back to go in the locker room, and he's just holding it up, and you just hear Warriors chants and just everyone just screaming their heads off. Obviously, all Warriors fans, Cavs fans left minutes ago. But then having to sprint past him to get into the locker room so I could get in there because they're very, very strict about who gets let in. There's only a limited amount of people. Only, obviously players, coaches, trainers, basketball staff, owners, Bob. They give the team, I think, 5 minutes to celebrate on their own before they let any of the media in. Yeah. But the only media allowed in is, maybe NBA, TV, ESPN, there's maybe 5 media members in there, so I had to run to make sure I could get a spot.
Nice.
And I didn't think I was gonna get in, and then someone from PR just literally grabbed my arm and pulled me in to make sure I got in. And then maybe 10 seconds later, Steph comes running in with the trophy, and then the champagne just goes off, and it's just my contacts are burning.
Well, I was gonna ask you that. They didn't give you the cool ski mask goggles?
Oh no. Nope, I was just thrown in there and then everything just starts going off because some of the bench guys were already in there, had their goggles, they're waiting, they're holding bottles, waiting for the last player to get in there so they can start going off. And my mascara is running, so I look like a drunk raccoon. I look terrible, but oh my God, it was so much fun. My eyes were on fire for hours because of all the champagne and my contacts.
That's what I'm talking about, ground level troop in there with the squad, risking everything. You could be blind right now. You don't care. I love that, Julie. Thank you.
That was the first one, so I was totally unprepared. And I'm just trying to get everything, and then media comes in and it's packed. It's I'm already pretty claustrophobic. So it was very uncomfortable, but I think my adrenaline was going so much that I didn't have a panic attack, thankfully. But everyone's getting pulled in different directions. They have to do trophy portraits, different interviews with NBA TV, ABC, ESPN, radio hits. The guys just want to celebrate with their teammates, coaches, trainers, and their family. So it's really just the most chaotic thing ever, but it's so amazing. And I was just following, it was just me there doing social. So my boss, Andy, he was there, but he was doing more making sure everything was getting posted to the web, where I was just doing content capture. So I'm just chasing everyone. The cast arena is pretty spaced out. So I'm following like Steph across the court to go do an interview, and then I'm sprinting over to go get Clay to do like what we had the Twitter mirror back then, trying to get the guys to take like selfies.
Oh, you were super busy.
Oh yeah, I was sprinting all around the arena. And I was wearing my like gold sequin glitter loafers, and that were already falling apart. But like as I'm running, there's little splish sounds because they're like soaked with champagne. It's like I'm gonna trip and I'm gonna slip and fall and face plant, but I just kept running everywhere with like my dorky little vest, which I took home, by the way. I was like, it's one of those like little pennies, you know, like the little like reversible pennies you would wear during scrimmage.
Right.
It's like light blue and it says NBA Finals. I like totally took that. It's somewhere in my Warriors box, but you're supposed to give those back. But
you need to like frame that and hang it up like, you know, a retired jersey or something.
Like a shadow box with a light.
Yeah.
Is that a situation where, you know, with all celebrations going on and like, you know, as things are kind of dying down perhaps, is that a thing where the Cavaliers players are coming in like, hey guys, good game, or this like totally separate?
No.
Okay.
It's any, at least that I saw, but if there would be any of that, it would definitely be like one or two players. But most of all the, you know, post-game handshakes and good game, all that, that's usually immediately after, if at all. But like, I know a lot of the guys on Warriors like love Kyrie, so like I'm sure, you know, immediately after, like it's really, if you're on the losing team, it's really frustrating. You just want to get out of there, but so they probably all just, you know, talk afterwards.
Right.
But I do remember during the 2016 finals at Oracle, after we lost.
Whoa, hold on. That was not on the program, ma'am. I don't know why you're bringing it up. Bad that. Cut to a commercial. Cut to a commeral time.
Let's go Warriors.
No, sorry. Go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
I was like, you know, I had so many drafts that were like, you know, like back-to-back lyrics, like all these Drake memes and but
back to back.
I had to delete all those. So I'm like, okay, like, what can I get right now? And I like, there was that whole, you know, Draymond LeBron thing kind of going on, but like knowing Draymond, it's like Draymond's going to come out and he'll dap him up, he'll do the whole thing, and that will be good content. So I was just kind of waiting at the kind of in front of the Warriors bench on the court as Cavs players, and everyone's starting to celebrate. And then Draymond comes out, so I just immediately follow him like his security detail, and I'm just pushing through people. The crowd is, he's, you know, trying to find LeBron. Obviously, LeBron's like at the center of the maze, like weaving through people. Like I know at one point, like I kind of just had to start pushing through people, and at one point I looked to see who accidentally kind of just like muscled my way through, and it was Usher.
Usher.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, like I love your music, I'm so sorry. Like Confessions is my shit.
You bowled Usher Raymond?
Not super aggressively where like security was gonna be like, what's going on? But you know, just kind of like this light little elbow.
Just nice and slow. Just nice and slow elbow.
That is crazy.
Yeah, just light break through a screen, like nothing terrible. But finally followed Draymond where him and LeBron had his thing, and then all the camera footage, I had a ton of texts from friends who were sending me screenshots of me in the background with my phone, like
that's like huge, because you get a situation where you've been at the pinnacle and you're from the Bay, like, you know, you were an honorary Warrior as a kid, so like now you see the team actually win, and then not only did they win on the road, which got to be crazy, and they lose at home, so you're like both these worlds here. So in 2017 the team wins at home. What's that like?
It's way more fun to win on the road, at least from like a work perspective.
Really?
Well, it's more fun as a fan. It's more fun to win at home, obviously, but from work, it's much preferable to win on the road.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Because like on the road, it's much more contained. There's significantly less family and friends, and it's like the winning is, everything's kind of sped up. There's so many checkpoints that the guys have to get through with trophy portraits, interviews, you know, just seeing friends and family, that because they're not on their home court, there's no like emotional attachment to the surroundings, that they just want to get through it and get to the after party. So they're much more inclined to just, hey, can you take this quick selfie for me or like record a video? They're much more kind of, yeah, just to get it over with. And they're not distracted by like so many friends and family around. And it's also easier because there's usually only 1 or 2 social staff there, and the rest of the team is working from home. So you're like, my responsibilities were much more just free roaming content capture, but I knew that the rest of our digital team was at home able to make sure everything that we had prepared ahead of time is getting posted, and they're checking Getty for new photos, they're watching interviews. So it takes a lot of stress off me because I'm not having to focus on so many things, and there's and also it's much more fun because the staff is invited to the after party, so like
selfish reasons. Okay, my last question about this short one. Stephen Curry said that when he came back to Quicken Loan Arena after they won the championship, he hoped it still smelled like champagne. Did it?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
that's the first thing I checked.
Take it from here, Tom. I want to make sure it still smells like champagne. Go ahead, now. Go ahead.
Just want to confirm that it's got that nice bubbly champagne smell. But we've been talking about the kind of these big moments that you experienced when you're running the Warriors social media. But I'm always curious about like whether you call it like a small moment or something you really remember in that time that you were there and working there, that just like is always in your mind, or you always remember it, that someone wouldn't think of, or something that's like is a sort of a smaller thing or what have you. But what is one of those memories? Because celebrations and those things like that's like but like what's something small that you always remember about while you're on that job?
I guess one would be interesting would be interactions with opposing players. Like Jamal Crawford was running by to say hi to someone I was sitting next to on the bench, and accidentally stepped on my shoe. And he turned around and goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." Like he was actually polite about it, which is rare. So many are going through my mind right now. I'm trying to pick one. There's this one funny story of OKC 2016, I think. One of the earlier games, but after every game on the road, there'd be team dinners, usually like almost at a steakhouse. And my coworker Brian and I, we were just sitting in a booth together, having dinner. We got there late because we have to work, and Steph was the only player left there. And so by the time it was like, the restaurant was shutting down, it was time to go. There was like 10 to 15 people outside waiting to see if any players were left coming out. And so we're walking to the bus, and Steph, he was just in a good mood, but he just runs out and he just kind of goes up to the crowd. He's like, "She's not signing any autographs tonight, people. Like let her be. She's got tweets to do tomorrow." And everyone's just looking like, I think it was a pretty smart move because all of the fans were so taken aback, like, who is he talking about? That like they totally forgot to be like, "Steph, sign my jersey." And he just ran on the bus and got in. And so, yeah.
That is cool. Julie, I need you to help us out here. I'm going to ask Dr. Tom a question, and I need you to tell us if he got it right, okay? Now, Dr. Tom, I don't know if you heard, but Julie got some, pretty nasty messages on social media from people who weren't Warriors fans. And Dr. Tom, can you guess which fan base gave her the most vitriol, the most hate?
It's like the obvious. I'm going to go with the aforementioned Oklahoma City. The initial thought is Cleveland, but that's too easy. I'm still mad at Oklahoma City for how they treated KD, so I'm going to say that. Now,
the Houston Rockets do exist.
Oh, we ended them, right? I thought they just folded up basketball in Houston.
Julie, what's the right answer?
OKC and Cleveland, depending on the year. But yeah, both of those were the most frequent people sending me stuff I wouldn't want to read to my mom.
Like, did it get worse because, you had Steph not only winning championships, but also getting those MVPs?
Oh, yeah. It got worse every year.
Not to continue the praising of Julie, it's so frustrating because it's like, you're so good at it, too. It's like you see these tweets and it's like, how are you going to, like, no, this is like the best it can be, even if it is an opponent. Because like I'll see, the other time I'm like, oh, that's no good. I'm not gonna like say anything mean, but like, oh, it's like, no, like this is done at the highest level, and like you're still gonna be at best a jerk, and at worst a pretty reprehensible person about it. Like,
no one was even like making fun of my tweets or any of the content stuff. They were just like, I hope you die. My tweets are bad, but they're not that bad.
Whoa, dang. Okay, I know you're getting death threats. Okay.
Oh yeah. I tweeted a screenshot recently, and I guess one of the people who was in my DM sending me stuff, one of his friends found it and tagging him, and they're like laughing about it. Like they think it's the funniest stuff ever. So I always tell my nephews, like, if I ever see you trolling people like this on the internet.
Bad news.
You're gonna go back to Internet Explorer.
You gonna put him back in time? Damn.
Yeah. So you mentioned Jamal Crawford stepping on your shoes, and I must say, you're one of the great sneakerhead shoe heads out there on NBA Twitter.
Absolutely.
And I just want to spend a little time talking about that. I have sort of a passing somewhat interest in it. I'm not a legend like you, but in terms of the kicks, I feel like when I say that I sound a million years old. What's your favorite? Like, what are your favorites? Like, what are your favorites to wear?
Air Max 1, Air Max 90s. And then I'm super basic, so I just like Air Force Ones.
Nice. Classics are classics for a reason.
Yeah.
And you also I wanted to talk about, you've had this I guess a series a bit. I believe they're all Air Force Ones. I could be wrong, but of your wonderful the shoe game on display on the different road arenas throughout.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the association, and I kind of just why'd you do that? What kind of prompted you to do that? I don't know.
To take pictures on the logos?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it looked cool. I'm not a selfies person. Like I don't take selfies. If I do, like I always make stupid faces. But I wanted, like memories of all the places I was able to go. So I was just like, oh, my shoes are cool, and like being on the logo is cool because I was like, oh, like if I travel to enough if I go to all 30 NBA arenas, it'd be really cool to do a poster collage of all 30 logos. So like as time went on, I started to really plan ahead and be like, okay, so this is like their core color scheme. Like, what shoes would go best with this? And getting trying to pair everything. I was like, hey, so Orlando, like they have the light brown with the blue and black. I'm like, oh, my white and blue Air Force is perfect. I was trying to get a whole nice aesthetic going, but
clean.
How many did you get, or how many shy of all the arenas are you?
I'm only missing Sacramento, Phoenix, and Minnesota. So I didn't get all 30, but whenever a chance to go to Sacramento came up, I was like, I'll stay home.
Wow, the disrespect to the Kings organization.
The tough but fair.
I should have gone because I've heard their new arena is really
and they're right up the road. From the Bay.
Yeah, but I had so many I barely had days off that if I had a chance for just one day of staying at home, I would take it. Plus, that's my dad's side of the family is from Sacramento, so I used to as a kid going there for Christmas. So I've seen it all.
Okay, so of the Warriors, whose kicks were a personal favorite of yours?
Andre.
Oh yeah.
Andre is the most amazing collection, but he's so quiet about it. And whenever Andre would compliment me on my shoes, it made my whole week. Andre
was talking about your shoes. I see you, girl. I see you.
Yeah, I think most of it he was just with me a little bit, but I still took it. It's nope, I'm gonna take this as a compliment, and I just it's the highest honor. Andre Iguodala was those are not bad.
That's cool. Well, I mean, speaking of shoes, and speaking of the man behind you, he's got some pretty nice shoes of his own.
Yes.
I'm wondering, did you happen to watch The Last Dance?
Yes, I think I've only missed 2 episodes.
Which one?
Because I wanted to. I think the 2 middle ones,
okay.
But because I wanted to binge the whole thing, and then with Insecure and all the other shows I was binging, kind of messed up.
Did you watch last episode of Insecure?
Oh yeah. I always watch Insecure.
Don't
it's like
spoil
20
it for
minutes
me.
long.
Don't spoil it for me. Right now, Issa and Molly are going through it, and I want to, I got to understand what's going on with that.
It's pretty emo though. It's really good. Like I really like the direction that the season's going in.
Oh, you like drama?
I like watching drama. I don't like being part of it.
So, watching The Last Dance, like, what about it? Like, I mean, there was so much in there, obviously, but what stuck out to you as someone who's, been in the industry and seen it from the inside perspective? That was kind of opening the world up to a lot of people who's not, seeing the day-to-day there. What did you find interesting about it?
I think the access that they had was incredible. Like, that does not fly anymore. Maybe if you're the league. Yeah, but for, team people, very rarely. The Lakers have really good, their social team has amazing access. But I think kind of the things that people love to see are the quieter moments, like how do the players get to the practice arena or to the arena? Like, do they have the same exact ritual before every single game? Do they listen to all the same music? Like, do they wear pajamas to practice like Dennis Rodman does? Not as flashy moments are so fascinating to a lot of people. And obviously, how there was media in last night's episode, there's media in MJ's room, just 10 cameras of him just on the piano. That's insane. That would not happen this year unless it was the player's own personal content team and maybe one person from the league. Fun fact is Clay's uncle Andy Thompson is a videographer for the NBA. He's amazing.
Wow.
And so he was always obviously on the road with the Warriors, but he would get access wherever he wanted, on the team bus.
Oh, nice.
Locker room, everywhere. So whenever the Warriors documentary comes out, his footage is going to be some of the best.
Well, it's funny you say that because, if you think about it, we started in 2012, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so from then to now, the social media explosion has been ridiculous. And of course, obviously, you've had a big part of that. What have you seen as far as the players focusing on branding themselves through social media in a way that obviously we couldn't see before?
Well, I think LeBron launching Uninterrupted was a huge moment for athletes in terms of social and content creation. AD has his 35 ventures. Steph has his unanimous media. Draymond has his own thing going on. A lot of players don't necessarily have media companies, but they have their own personal photographers, videographers, personal content team. So they're definitely seeing the value, and I think it's great because it gives them a chance to control their stories and what they want to share and what they want to get out there instead of having to rely on media to tell it for them and perhaps have things misinterpreted or skewed in ways that aren't genuine to what they're trying to say. And plus it just allows a little creative outlet for them. So I think that that's been huge and significant. It's something I'm really into, although it is a little frustrating being on the team side because you want to be the one to help tell those stories, and that doesn't necessarily happen. But then that also just means you have to build better relationships and kind of be hey, this is a mutual thing. We want to help push. We want to tell your stories, but sometimes there's a lot of red tape from the team side with sponsorships or just PR controlling narratives. But if you have really creative people on the inside, then you're able to help do everything that you can to either capture stuff for the players for them to share themselves, or if push that out from the team platform.
Tom and I all the time are talking about those narratives, because that's what people, listen to us for, and people on the internet, everyone's got a platform now to talk about these things, and these narratives kind of drive basketball almost, to me, it seems as equal as the actual games being played itself. So when you're on the team side, and especially what we saw last year with the whole Kevin Durant, clouds hanging over the team, et cetera, when you're seeing that as someone who's been in the locker room and knows what it's like, and you're seeing these stories come out, what does that do to you personally? You see the difference between reality and the narrative.
Just laugh about it. It's it's the same as high school, your room is about people and you're yeah. I'm trying to think of do you have a specific example of one of the...
I'm sure Tom does. I'm sure Tom has plenty to talk
about. No. You know, I get in trouble if I talk too much about KD. But
I love Kevin.
See?
We all love Kevin. What are you talking about?
Yeah, some of us more than others.
Yeah, like,
come on. I can't speak for NBA Twitter, but go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
No, I think a lot of people just hate on Kevin because like he reminds them too much of themselves. Like, except he's extremely successful.
Bars. She's dropping bars, y'all.
No. But like, from my time around Kevin, my perception of him is he really just misses being like, you know, a regular dude who can just say and do whatever he wants. And, you know, like people give him shit about the burners and counts and stuff, but like he just loves basketball so much that he just wants to talk basketball with whoever. Like he loves jumping in conversations. He just and especially because he's rehabbing, like do you know how much time he's probably sitting in tables and what are those hot tubs and ice baths and bars and all that stuff. And so he just wants to jump on Twitter and talk about basketball because that's what he loves. And he can't talk about it, you know. If he does talk about it, it's Kevin Durant and 800 articles about Kevin, like, picked Magic Johnson as his favorite point guard. So obviously he hates Stephen Curry. So
I think I know about that article, actually. Wait, Tom. Okay. Julie, Dr. Tom is one of the greatest Kevin Durant supporters on the planet. Now, I would just like for Dr. Tom to say a little bit about his piece, because privately we always talk about it, but just can you share with the world how you feel about this, Dr. Tom?
I don't know, you know, like we're all at a remove up from it, but it seemed like it was just that. And I think to even look back at the Last Dance, it was interesting to see then those scenes, not the one like Michael Jordan after the 98 finals, but in those games when he's hanging out in his hotel room and he's like, this is the only sort of peace I get. And you could see because what you're saying about he just wants to talk about basketball, but he can't. If it's Kevin Durant saying this, like everybody's going to freak out and turn it into psychoanalysis. But if the guy, you know, just wants to talk about like, man, I really love Magic Johnson on this Lakers team because he did this and that, but it's this like over interpretation. I'm somebody who is certainly good at over interpreting things and reading too much into things, but it seems like that from just like, again, from like too far away and trying to assign too much meaning. And like, I think it's kind of the point you make about that people see probably too much of themselves, or you know, or maybe how they don't want to see themselves, but they actually are. Like there's that when he talked about, he's like, I'm just like you, I get acne, I play video games, all this stuff. And yeah, but people, you just want to read too much into it every time he tries to be a person. And, you know, it's like I said, I think it's interesting that watching a lot of that Last Dance, the documentary, and I know I'm not alone in trying to link this to the Warriors, but you can see why he would have burner accounts, or he would maybe be tired of want a different situation where he wouldn't have these things that would so constrict him. I wanted to pose this question to Julie, you know, again, talking about the Last Dance because it's the closest thing we have to sports, real sports now in the time of coronavirus. But, you know, looking at all those Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls seasons, which one of those, if you could like go back but also bring the like social media and like all the, you know, things that we have now, which would you like to go, which of those seasons would you like to go back? And if you were the social media, run the social media accounts for the Bulls, which season would you like to do?
I guess 98, because like his last shot would be amazing. But honestly, I'm really glad social was not around during those times. 20 years from now, like I think looking back on like when people talk about the, you know, Warriors dynasty, like social is going to be a large part of that. Like there's going to be a lot of talk about, you know, Kevin's burner accounts and how like did social media play an impact in his leaving. And I think because that's kind of, you know, like gossipy, like internet shit, that there's a lot of time spent on that when there's so much other more interesting stories that could be told.
Talking about actual basketball.
Yeah. So like, I mean, obviously I love social, but I'm glad that, you know, like such a iconic story is, you know, Michael Jordan, the Bulls repeats, like, is mostly basketball. Like there's obviously a lot of off-court stories and whatnot, but, you know, there wasn't any Twitter drama or stuff like that. Dennis Rodman's Twitter would be amazing, but Jordan, probably not.
It's good. I was going to say that kind of along those lines, like of those, you know, the players we spent some time with over the course of this documentary, who do you think would have the best social media presence? Would it be Rodman, or is there somebody else who you think?
Rodman's Instagram.
Lit.
That would have its own segment on every sports talk show.
Absolutely. A hashtag lit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Like everyone would have his story notifications on.
Going forward, you still got the Splash Bros, Draymond, got Wiggins now, obviously some young talent, Pascal Poole. What do you see in the future for this team?
A well-rested Steph is very dangerous Steph. It's like the most terrifying Steph. Mm-hmm. It's like happy, joking around, carefree Steph is actually really terrifying, but like well-rested Steph is also terrifying. And I think Clay is probably going to have, I would say Clay is probably set up to have a really impactful season. He's a huge basketball head. He just wants to play, and him being in rehab for so long, I'm just like, he'll probably drop like 50 his first game, or at least, you know, I hope. But I think I think it'd be foolish to completely write them off. But obviously, if people are expecting, you know, 70 wins, like not quite up there yet. But considering like where the franchise was 20 years ago, like it's hard to complain. Think of where the Warriors were 20 years ago. Like,
thank you.
20 years ago, we would be praying, let us blow a 3-1 lead in the finals. Like, I don't care. Like,
thank you so much, Julie. We are so entitled.
Like at the end of the day, we're not the Knicks, so.
Whoa! Shout out to New York!
That was like Charles Smith getting blocked a couple times right there.
Julie with the heat.
Just like, I know a lot of the internet stuff is like, mostly it's just jokes. Some people, you know, having fun with each other and talking, but like really, like how many trips to the finals, like where, like, did you ever think that was possible? I never ever thought the Warriors would ever see a championship in my lifetime. So to go to 4 finals, or was it 5 finals? I don't even remember.
Losing counts, many of them. So many.
I can't even remember because I have no concept of time. But like, I mean, the run the Warriors had, like any franchise would want that. And if you say no, then you probably don't like winning. But
thank you, Julie. I really appreciate that.
That is a good homage to Michael Jordan too. That feels like something, you know, like he would say in your background. He's like, she knows what's up. Like if they're complaining, they just don't want to win. They just don't care.
Yeah, like highs and lows. Like I think had to lose 3-1 and lose 2016 finals to keep things going. Because the 2014-15 season, like that rise to the top was so quick that I know a lot of fans kind of took that ascent to the top for granted. And so kind of being humbled so severely so quickly was like, kind of gave time to step back and be like, okay, where were we 10 years ago and like where are we now? Like,
yeah,
this is a much better position to be in. And I think like Draymond is a great leader. He's a great coach for younger players. What's great about like Steph and Draymond together is they lead such different ways. And Draymond is happily taken on that tougher role of agitator and, you know, like not afraid to yell and get in people's faces because every team needs a Draymond.
That's right.
And, you know, I think they'll at least be like Steph Curry's never boring, Clay's never boring, Draymond's never boring. I think, I won't watch every single game, but I'll watch more than probably half the league.
So not just the Christmas Day game. I get it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch a Tuesday night game against Atlanta. I don't know.
What? Okay.
I don't know. It depends on what depends on what SVU rerun is on at the same time. I don't know.
SVU, no.
Oh yeah.
We have a whole separate podcast about what Julie's watching.
Oh yeah. I'm watching Hannibal right now. It's really good.
Did it get canceled super early or something?
Yes. As soon as I got to episode 4, I was like, okay, I'm already pissed. This is canceled. This is exceptional television. It's terrifying and it's really dark, but it's really good.
Hugh Dancy looks a lot like Kevin Love.
Nuts. Oh.
Yeah, I kept the whole time. I'm like, wow, I didn't know Kevin Love had that kind of. Oh wait, that's not Kevin Love.
Are you calling Kevin Love an actor, not a factor? How dare you, Dr. South? How dare you?
Oh.
How dare you? He's a great guy. And I think, to wrap it up, we want to get, a little more on the personal side as far as your life outside of the game. And
Julie's social media, it's great for, all kinds of NBA jokes, a great shoe game. But yes, exactly. There are some great cat images coming up on Julie's social media. And I even like the fact that there is a Warriors narrative to how the two dominant cats of the internet, Boo and Sandwiches, came into your life. So would you please tell us that story? Because that's really what I'm here for.
Okay. I don't even remember what year it was, but I've been wanting to adopt 2 cats. I really wanted a black cat and really wanted an orange cat. And when Hurricane Irma happened, so many pets were being displaced in Miami that we partnered up with the Heat to send an entire plane full of different cats and dogs and pets that there were no room in shelters. So we flew them up here to be based in Blair, the area shelters. There was another Warriors event that I was already scheduled to work at that day. So my coworker went and I told her, please just take pictures of every single orange or black cat that you see. And she did. There was only 1 black cat and there were 3 orange cats, and I picked out Sandwiches and I emailed the, I had to find out which shelter they were at, and I emailed the director their pictures, I want these. And I just emailed back and forth, and he put them, he boarded them together to see if they got along, and set up a interview with them, where I got to meet him, and he's like, they get along really well. He's like, so if you want them, it's I really recommend this pair. And I was like, I want them. And then
that is so sweet.
And then Boo and Sandwiches. Sandwiches shelter name was Mako, but Boo's shelter name was Julie May.
Can
you imagine having a same name as your cat? But I already knew there it was definitely gonna be Boo, and then it was either Sandwiches or Mimsy. But then once I met him and got to know his personality, I was like, yeah, he's the Sandwiches.
Wait, so which color cat is who?
Boo is the tuxedo, she's black and white, and Sandwiches is my orange and white chubby dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is that this, they're like, oh, I just want to see some pictures. I remember when I got my cat, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go down to the Humane Society and just kind of look and see it. I was like, oh no, I gotta bring him home.
Yeah.
Damn it! You can't. It's you say, oh, I just want to look and I just want to see, and then it's like, nope, they got me.
Oh yeah. I started a few months ago volunteering at this feral cat shelter called Kitty Bungalow down here, and pretty much my job is to just socialize with the kittens. So it's basically just cuddling with them for a few hours a week.
You are living your best life, Julie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Getting to celebrate championships with the Warriors and hanging out with cats, that is probably that would be the best life in my eyes.
Oh yeah. Just rings and cats, that's all I need.
Rings and cat, that's the name of Julie's next podcast, you know what I'm saying? Rings and cat.
Rings and cats.
Julie, thank you so much for joining us. This has been insightful. Like, seriously, like, I learned so much more. I always wondered, did Quickens Loneria still smell like champagne? And now I know it does. Thank you so much.
To this day.
To this day.
Well, and we know it's going to stay that way because you know the Cavs aren't winning anything anytime soon.
Ooh, more slander. Oh, my goodness. Like, come on now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We can't be adding all the slander out there in the air, okay?
It's inoculating.
Well, as always, thank you, Dr. Tom, and thank you, Julie. It's been fantastic. Everyone, Dub Nation, I hope you heard her wise words. Keep on believing, keep the faith. It's all started back when we believe anyway, baby. Just keep on believing. I mean, if you can believe in Baron Davis and Steven Jackson, you can believe in Steph Clay and Drake, okay? We'll be good. So take care and be well, and let's go Warriors.